Level 1. The profile. You're 24 and you work customer retention at a software subscription company. $13 an hour. Your job is to call people who are about to cancel and make them feel valued enough to stay. You are good at this. Abnormally good. Your close rate is 74%. The company average is 41%. You do it by asking the right questions in the right order and listening for the thing underneath the thing the customer actually says. People don't cancel software because of price. They cancel because something stopped working and nobody cared. You make them feel like someone cares. Then they stay. Your supervisor put your name on a whiteboard once. Employee of the month. That's the whole reward. Your name and marker on a whiteboard in a break room that smells like burned coffee. Your apartment is a one-bedroom off Route 9 with a window unit that rattles when it runs. Rent is $875. Take-home is $1,640 after taxes. After rent, electric, car insurance, and the minimum payment on a credit card you maxed out getting your transmission fixed last spring, you have $190. For food. For everything. $190 is not a budget. $190 is a Tuesday. You find the Reddit thread at 2 a.m. on a Wednesday. Someone explaining how romance scams work, step by step, the fake profile, the slow build, the emergency, the gift cards. You read the whole thing. You recognize every technique immediately. The way you ask questions and wait for what's underneath. The way you make someone feel heard before you ask them for anything. The way you stay on the line until the resistance softens. You've been doing all of it every day for $13 an hour. You close the thread. You open a new browser tab. You spend 4 hours building a profile on a Thursday night. Military officer. Widower. Daughter in college. Currently on a contract job in Qatar. You pull photos from a Finnish photography forum. A face that appears nowhere else online because you checked 3 times. The backstory is specific because specific is what makes something feel real. You know this from work. Vague is what makes people hang up. You upload the profile to a dating app at 11:47 p.m. You go to bed. She messages you first. Sandra is 58. Retired nurse. Lives in Columbus, Ohio. Widowed 4 years ago. Her daughter made her sign up on New Year's Eve as a joke, and she's been on the app for 3 months without messaging anyone. She messages you because you mentioned in your profile that you donate to a children's hospital in Dubai every year, and she used to volunteer at Nationwide Children's Hospital in Columbus, and it felt like a connection. It's not a connection. You made up the donation because it sounded like something a person worth trusting would do. You talk every day for 6 weeks before you ask for anything. Good morning texts at 7 a.m. Questions about her garden, her sister in Cincinnati, a dog named Biscuit who is 11 years old and starting to slow down. You tell her your wife died 3 years ago. Your daughter was 8. You've been raising her alone ever since. None of it is true. All of it lands the way a real person who'd been through it would deliver it. Careful. A little slow. Like it still costs something to say. 6 weeks is not an accident. The first ask is small. $300 in iTunes gift cards. You tell her there's a problem with the overseas bank account. A flag because of the contract work. It'll clear in 10 days. You just need to cover a processing fee so the project doesn't get delayed. You tell her you're embarrassed to ask. You tell her you've never asked anyone for anything. You tell her you just don't know who else to call. She goes to CVS on a Saturday morning. She buys 6 $50 cards at the register. She reads you the numbers over the phone while she's still in the parking lot. You drain them at a different CVS 3 zip codes away that afternoon. You stand at the pharmacy counter and enter the numbers one at a time. The cashier is looking at her phone. The transaction takes 4 minutes. The terminal prints a receipt. The receipt says thank you. $300 in gift cards. For minutes at a counter. That's 23 hours of retention calls. You drove home and made dinner and watched something on your laptop and went to sleep. Sandra texted you good night at 10:30. You texted back that talking to her was the best part of your day. The best part of your day was the $300. Level 2. The script. By month 2, Sandra has sent you $3,200. 6 trips to CVS. 6 sets of card numbers read to you in parking lots. 6 thank yous printed on receipts at a counter 3 zip codes away. She sends the last batch on a Tuesday and texts you that evening to say she hopes the project is going well. You tell her the project is going well. The project is going well. You build 4 more profiles that month. An engineer on an offshore oil rig off the coast of Norway. A widowed architect in Dubai. A doctor with Doctors Without Borders based in Kenya. A retired military contractor named James who lost his wife to cancer 18 months ago. Different photos, different backstories, different voices. You buy 2 more prepaid phones, $34 each at Walmart. You keep the phones in a desk drawer and charge them on a power strip at night. 5 phones in a drawer. 5 people who don't exist. You start a notebook. Black composition notebook, $1.29 at Walgreens. Each page is one relationship. Name of the victim, her age, where she lives, what she believes about you, what she's told you about her own life, her kids' names, her job, her dog, her sister, how much she's sent, what she's saving to send next. You write small because the details accumulate fast and the pages fill up faster than you expect. You find Terrell on a forum. He posts under a handle and never uses a real name, and you don't ask for one. Terrell has been running this operation for 4 years. He looks at what you're doing with the gift cards, and he tells you gift cards are entry level. He says there's a ceiling on gift cards. Victims start to hesitate. Stores start to put limits on how many cards one person can buy. The ceiling is about $500 per ask before the hesitation kicks in. You've already hit the ceiling twice this week. Terrell explains the Money Mule system. You pick a victim who is already deep enough in the relationship that she'd do something for you that she'd never do for a stranger. You tell her that because of overseas banking complications, you need her to receive a wire transfer on your behalf and forward it to an account you give her. You tell her she can keep a small fee for the trouble, $200, $300, enough that it feels like she's getting something. She opens a new bank account. The wire arrives from another victim in your network. She forwards it. She thinks she's helping the man she loves deal with a bureaucratic problem. She has no idea the money she's forwarding came from someone exactly like her, 3 states away, who also thought she was helping. The FBI calls this Money Mule recruitment. Most mules don't know they're committing a crime. Terrell says that's the point. You tell Sandra about the overseas banking complications on a Thursday evening. You tell her you need her help with something small. You tell her it's embarrassing to ask. You tell her you trust her more than anyone. Sandra opens a new account at a different bank the following Monday. She drives to the branch herself. She fills out the forms. She texts you a photo of the new debit card when it arrives. You tell her she has no idea how much this means to you. Sandra receives her first wire transfer 2 weeks later. $4,800. It comes from a woman named Patricia in Phoenix who believes she's sending it to a doctor in Nairobi she's been talking to for 3 months. Sandra forwards $4,500 to an account Terrell gives you. She keeps $300 as her fee. She texts you to say it went through. You tell her you could not have done this without her. You are running 5 profiles simultaneously. You are producing $8,400 a week. Your cut after Terrell's fee and operating expenses is $6,100. You quit the call center in week 3. You tell your mom you got a remote sales role. Better hours. Better pay. She asks if you get benefits. You tell her you're working on it. The notebook has 11 pages filled. You add a second column to Sandra's page for the Mule transfers. The original column says $3,200 in gift cards. The second column starts at $4,500. The 2 columns are separated by a thin line you drew with a ruler. On one side, what she sent you. On the other side, what she forwarded from Patricia. Sandra doesn't know about the second column. Sandra doesn't know about Patricia. Sandra doesn't know she has a page in a notebook at all. Level 3. The door. By month 6, you are running 47 active relationships. The first notebook is full. You buy a second one, $1.29 at the same Walgreens. You write 2 on the cover with a marker and put it next to the first one in the desk drawer. The desk drawer has 2 notebooks and 5 phones and a power strip. That's the whole operation. 2 notebooks, 5 phones, a power strip. The 47 relationships are at different stages. 11 are in the gift card phase. 9 are in the Mule transfer phase. The rest are still in the trust phase. Daily messages, morning texts, questions about their gardens and their dogs and their sisters in other cities. You run the trust phase the same way you ran customer retention calls. You ask questions. You wait for what's underneath. You make them feel like someone cares. You clear $6,100 a week. You haven't been to an office in 4 months. You work 4 hours a day from the same desk. The rest of the time the phones sit in the drawer and charge. Sandra has sent you $23,000 across 7 months. You know this because Sandra has the longest page in the first notebook. Her page has 2 columns, and both of them are full. The gift card column totals $3,200. The Mule transfer column totals $19,800. The 2 columns add up to $23,000, and the page is almost out of room. You open Sandra's page one morning in October, and you see she has sent you a message at 11 p.m. the night before. You read it. She has bought a plane ticket to Atlanta. Non-refundable. She's flying in on a Thursday. She's going to the address you gave her in month 3, a house in a suburb of Atlanta you found on Zillow and told her was yours. She says she wants to surprise you. She says she has been waiting 7 months, and she is not waiting anymore. You call her back, and you tell her there's a complication. You tell her the timing is wrong. You tell her you're embarrassed about the state of the house. She tells you the ticket is non-refundable. She tells you she's been talking to you every day for 7 months, and she is coming. She lands on a Thursday afternoon. She takes a rideshare to the address. A woman answers the door. A stranger. A family who has lived in that house for 11 years. Sandra asks for you by the name you gave her. The woman has never heard that name. The woman says she's sorry. Sandra says she's sorry too. She doesn't know what else to say. Sandra sits on the stranger's porch steps for 2 hours. The stranger brings her a glass of water. Sandra calls you 11 times. You don't pick up. There is no conversation that exists on the other side of those 11 calls, and you know at the moment the first one comes through. That evening, Sandra drives to her hotel room, and she sits on the edge of the bed, and she opens her phone. She still has every message you ever sent her. She scrolls back to the beginning. She reads from the start. She reads for 2 hours. Then she opens the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center website, and she starts typing. She types for 40 minutes. She lists every gift card purchase, every wire transfer, every amount, every date, every store, the address in Atlanta, and the name you gave her. She presses submit at 11:47 p.m. She goes to sleep. The report goes into a federal database with 340,000 other reports. It gets assigned a case number. It gets flagged for follow-up because $23,000 is above the median loss threshold, and because Sandra listed a specific Atlanta address and a specific name, and because Sandra kept records the way nurses keep records, complete, dated, and in order. The case number exists. The timestamp exists. The address exists. Sandra's 40 minutes of typing on the edge of a hotel bed in Atlanta exists in a federal database, and it will exist there for as long as the database runs. You don't know about the 40 minutes. You don't know about the report. You put Sandra's notebook page in the drawer under the second notebook, and you open the next relationship on the list. The next relationship is a woman named Deborah in Minneapolis. She's 61. She's been on the app for 2 months. She messages first. Level 4. The notebook. The FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center receives Sandra's report on a Friday morning. An agent in the Columbus field office reviews it on Monday. She adds it to a file of 22 similar reports from Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky filed in the last 90 days. The same pattern. The same overseas backstory. The same gift card method. The same Atlanta area address appearing in 3 of the reports. She contacts the FBI's Atlanta field office. The gift card redemptions are where it falls apart. When Sandra reads you the card numbers from a CVS parking lot, and you drain them at a different CVS 3 zip codes away, the transaction records your location. Not your name. Your location. Every redemption at the same pharmacy counter. The same terminal. The same 4 p.m. window on Tuesdays. 14 redemptions over 4 months. The store has cameras. The Atlanta field office pulls the CVS security footage on a Wednesday. A 24-year-old at the pharmacy counter every Tuesday at 4 p.m. They run the face against the Georgia driver's license database. Your photo comes back in 4 seconds. They subpoena your phone records. The phone registered to you shows 47 outgoing numbers called over 8 months. 47 women. 1 device. Each call log shows months of daily contact followed by a payment request followed by a transfer or a gift card purchase. The pattern is identical across all 47. 1 device. 1 person. They build the case for 6 weeks. They watch. They confirm the address. They map the operation from the outside while you run it from the inside. They arrest you on a Wednesday morning. You're at the desk. The 2 notebooks are in the drawer. The 5 phones are charging on the power strip. You're in the middle of a message to Deborah in Minneapolis when the knock comes. You know what the knock is before you open the door. You've known this knock was possible since the first Tuesday at the CVS counter. You just didn't think it would be a Wednesday. The agents find both notebooks in the drawer. The agent who picks up the first one opens it to Sandra's page. She reads it. She reads both columns. She reads the thin ruled line you drew with a ruler between what Sandra sent you and what Sandra forwarded from Patricia. She bags the notebook without saying anything. She doesn't need to say anything. The notebook says it. The charges are federal. Wire fraud. Mail fraud for the cashier's checks. Conspiracy. Money laundering for the Mule chain. Your public defender tells you that cooperating is the only thing that reduces the number. You cooperate. You give them Terrell's forum handle, his payment method, the encrypted channel. Terrell is arrested in a different city the same afternoon. Terrell cooperates faster and gives them more. Terrell gets 5 years. You get 4 because you went first. Sandra testifies at the grand jury. She drives from Columbus to Atlanta. She brings a folder. The folder has 340 pages inside it. Every message you ever sent her, printed out on her own printer, in her own house, in Columbus, Ohio, after she got back from a stranger's porch in Atlanta. She printed all of them because she said deleting them felt like saying it was nothing. The prosecutor asks her to read specific ones aloud. She reads them the way she filled out the IC3 report. Carefully, completely, in order. You serve 4 years in a federal correctional facility. You get out on a Monday. You move back to your parents' house. You sleep in your old bedroom. The posters are still on the wall. You get a job at a call center. Different company. Different product. $14 an hour. Your close rate in the first month is 71%. Your supervisor puts your name on a whiteboard. Employee of the month. That's the whole reward. Your name and marker on a whiteboard in a break room that smells like burned coffee. Same as before. The skill didn't change. You are still the most effective person in the room at making a stranger feel understood. The purpose is different. The purpose is the only thing that changed. Sandra still has the 340 pages. She keeps them in the folder. The folder is in a drawer in her kitchen. Her daughter asked her to throw them away. Sandra said she wasn't ready. That was 8 months ago. The folder is still there. You'll never know that. You'll never know any of what she kept. That's the math. That's always the math. The math takes everything, including the things the other person couldn't bring themselves to delete.